Good to see everybody. This is going to be a little bit weird because there's about a 10-second delay on my end of what I'm seeing and what I'm saying, and we haven't done this before. So we'll just see how it works. I can see your questions, Nathan. There you are. I see you. I can't see who all's on, but I can see your questions as they pop up. So I'll try to answer them as in the order that they're given, and as quickly as I can, and as completely as I can. So whatever you guys want to talk about. If I don't know the answer, I have a nice list here of questions, and so I will make sure to get answers to you at some point. So whatever you guys want to talk about, I am ready. I do have to pick my mom up at MOEX at 8:30, so I have a little bit of a deadline. I'm just going to drink coffee here while I'm waiting. Although I'm not seeing any questions quite yet. Let's see what kind of power I have over here. I can do this. Oh, there's questions. Okay. Diane asks, how much downtime do you have in the dorms? During the day, not very much. We, other than when you're not at meals, when you're not in classes, when you're not at our big group meeting, or in afternoon or evening programs, really the downtime is after the evening programs. We have a snack back at Mark Twain, and then up at house meetings, you guys will be able to meet with the roughly 16 or 17 other scholars that are in your house with one of the RAs. Hi, Angela, how are you? So there's not a lot of downtime in the dorms, and that's probably by design. We want it to be, it's only 3 weeks. I know that seems like a long time, but it goes really fast. We want it to be as jam-packed as we can with activities. Charlene asks, are parents allowed at opening night dinner? No. So you guys, after you check in on Sunday, I'm going to give you I'll send you guys a hard copy of the schedule and maps of downtown Columbia and where you need to go on the morning of June 12th. But lost my train of thought. You guys can go to dinner either at the Mark, either in Mark Twain, or anywhere in Columbia after you're checked in, and then we'll have the induction ceremony. The opening ceremonies will be at 1:30 in Jesse Hall, and then parents are dismissed after that, I should say. So feel free to stick around and you know, patronize one of the Columbia establishments, but the scholars start the academy right after the opening ceremony. Jasmine asks, how many people to a room? There's a couple of different setups. The vast majority of scholars, there'll be 2 to a room, and then 4 people or 2 rooms share a bathroom. So there's a couple of single rooms, but just count on having a roommate and then sharing the bathroom with 3 other people. And hopefully that should work out pretty well. Just like a college student, exactly like the many of the journalism students here at MU. That's where the journalism learning community is in Mark Twain. So let me scroll up there so it didn't miss anything. Okay. The supervision of minors, we have there's a couple of different aspects to that. We have a staff of 19 residence assistants, so each one of them will be in charge of, as I said, roughly 16 or 17 scholars, and they are they're in charge of them, you know, when they're in the dorms for sure. Actually, we're supposed to call them residence halls, but every afternoon activity, every course is supervised. We ask that the scholars, if they're going to explore the MSA campus, which is a subset of the Mizzou campus. We ask that they go with somebody, with a friend, but we have RAs that are in all of the activities and will be responsible for the safety. We'll have emergency drills in the residence hall in case of inclement weather. Hopefully that's not going to happen, but we're pretty. That is our number one priority. We obviously want the scholars to have a good time, to learn a lot, but we want them to be safe as well. I hope that answers. The question. And how many people to a room? I got that. How periodic? Lilia says, how periodic are room checks? The RAs never sleep, so they're pretty much patrolling the halls the entire time. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to knock on doors. They certainly will at certain times, but it's lights out at 11:30, and the RAs are tasked with making sure that everybody's in their room and asleep, because you have to get some sleep in order to take advantage of the rest of the academy. The 2016 student handbook will be available to view sometime within the next week. I have there's a few spots in that haven't been updated for a few years. There's some old information that I want to make sure not only that we get the new staff bios and all the room assignments for the classes will go in there, but it'll be available online, I hope, within the next week. A lot of the rules that are in there will be the same for 2016 as in last year's handbook. So you can really get a good sense of some of the general rules there. The specific things about courses and bios of the staff will obviously be different because we had a little bit of turnover in that. Matthew says, what types of sports games will scholars be allowed to set up ourselves during free time? Really, there's not a lot of, we don't do any contact sports. We don't, there'll be some more information on that coming in the RA, when I give you your roommate and RA's assignments, they'll talk a little bit more about that, but don't expect football or soccer. There's a couple of times that we have the Stankowski Field, which is the Mizzou Rec Center fields. We have that reserved for soccer drills, so we can go dribble the ball around a little bit, maybe shoot some baskets, a game of horse, but there's no contact sports at MSA. We don't have unfettered access to the rec center, so scholars can't do that. Maria, can parents send care packages? Can and should, yes. Send them to Mark Twain in care of your scholar, and they'll know the room number by the time you want to send care packages. They are fabulous ideas. There's competitions about the good care packages that scholars get on their floor, so highly recommend that. Cookies and all sorts of things for your scholar and for your scholar to share, I think would be a tremendous idea. Diane says, do we need formal attire? Not formal. There's a couple of events, opening ceremony, Teacher Appreciation Day, and closing ceremony, and the symphony. If you decide to go, we have the opportunity for scholars to attend a dress rehearsal of the Missouri Symphony's opera that they're presenting in June. And we certainly want, no jeans, no shorts, so sort of business casual kinds of attire for those events, but nothing formal. Guys, you don't have to wear ties, but nice button-down shirts and slacks and those kind of things. Is there a place to cash checks for personal spending money? Jessica, that's a good question, and I'm not sure that I know the answer to that, but I know there's a couple of things that I can tell about that. There's a couple of cash machines around, but one of the things that I will do, with the RAs, if the scholars would like to have us hold some money for them, I have a safe here in Lowry Hall, and we'll document, the RAs will document how much money your scholars want to keep with us. Whenever they need it, they'll see their RAs multiple times during the day. I can run to my office and get to them and get them installments of that however they want that. So not everybody has to do that, but that's certainly available if you don't want to keep that money in your room at any particular time. Will we know who the assigned RAs are before June 12th? Yes, in fact, I'm working on that, not right now, but I'm working on the RA assignments and the roommate assignments and the room assignments in the next couple of days. And so I'll send another email message and a hard copy of all of that. So you'll have your major, your minor, your room number, your RA, your roommate, as well as a little bit of information about the residence part of MSA. So that will be done. And so the students are assigned. It's sort of random. Although what I'll say that I'm going to do is, and I don't know any of you personally, but I'm going to make sure that students from the same school, and hopefully not from the same town, are rooming together. I want people to meet new people, and so you won't be living with somebody from your same town if I can work that out. I'm going to try to work that out. So, but other than that, it's going to be relatively random. And then the RA assignments will be done by Frankie Brunig, who's the residence hall coordinator, and I, again, sometime in the next couple of days. Yeah, so Emma, there is a suggested packing list under the frequently asked questions on the website. So I can talk a little bit about that in terms of clothes. There is a dress code. There's also some information about that on the website. In general, on the dress code, I'm guessing that we have similar rules to the kinds of things that you have at your school. And the way I think about the dress code at MSA is we don't want it to be punitive. We want it to not, we want your guys' dress to not be distracting of others. So we have a rule about shorts lengths. They need to be longer than, if you put your arms down to the side, the edge of your shorts need to be at least to the center of your palm, for example. No spaghetti straps for females, no muscle shirts for guys. We don't want to see your sides, we just want to see your arms. So there's a couple of those kinds of rules that we will enforce. Remember also, and I think this is important, Jordan, one of our current faculty, talked about this at the Kansas City informational meeting, that you are representatives of the state of Missouri, and we want you guys to be proud of that as we are of you, and part of that is reflecting in appropriate dress. So we're not trying to be, as I said, punitive about that. But if you have something on that we deem is inappropriate, we're just going to ask you to go change. So if it's a questionable kind of thing, it's probably a no, is what we'll go for. So if you have other questions about that as it comes up, as you see some of the information that's on the website, let me know, and and somebody will be in touch with it. Also on T-shirts, no profanity, no drug-related, alcohol-related kinds of messages on T-shirts and things like that. A packing list, got it. Dress code, yes. Sorry, I skipped a whole bunch of these. How early will we be waking up? Is it relative to the classes for each day? Yes. We like everybody to be at breakfast. And half of the majors will start at 8:30, half will start at 9. So we'll let you know how much breakfast time you need for that. But There will also be early morning exercising, usually jogging, but not always. There will be yoga that will start relatively early, about 6:30 for jogging, led by RAs. They love that job, so I've been told. So you're free to do that. It's not, that obviously is not required. And then is it relative to class for each day? Yeah, so a lot of times the 9 o'clock people will have breakfast a little bit later, and we stagger that so that the lunch rush is not overwhelming. So half of the students will have lunch at 11:30 and half will have it at 12. So that should be okay. Magdalene says how much spending money is recommended. Really, you know, the scholars don't need anything. I mean, we provide all the meals. If, you know, occasionally at some of the dances that we have, there are vending machines on Lowry Mall. And so, you know, a few bucks or so for a soda out there, although we provide water and lemonade for those. Some scholars may want to go to the Mizzou store and pick up some souvenirs or things or books. So there isn't a lot. There is a Starbucks on campus, but there really isn't a lot that the scholars need money for. So it's really up to you personally. The meals work is there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a snack. As I said, the lunch times are staggered. It's all the food is all you can eat. They have a better word. They have a better phrase for that. They don't like all you can eat, and I can't think of what it is now. But they're actually really good. There's a lot of varieties. There's sandwiches always. There's burgers always. There's always a salad bar and soup. There's always a hot entree. It's really, I love eating at MSA. I eat better at MSA than I do. No, I better not say that. My wife might be listening. But it's really good food, and the scholars should not want of anything like that. And then we have a late evening snack after the evening programming. I hope that answers that question. Jasmine says, will there be a nurse or medical staff on site? Absolutely. We'll have one medical staff person on call every day, and we'll have, as of right now, we have 6 that are going to rotate, and they're going to be on site. They will be physically present at Mark Twain during meals and during the evening snack. So if anything, you know, if anything arises, there will be somebody there during those times. If something more serious happens that either they can't handle or it's not at mealtime, we're about 5 minutes from the Student Health Center at Mizzou and about 3 minutes from, God forbid, the emergency room if that's necessary. So we're about as close to the hospital as you can get, and so there's lots of medical staff available, but we have our own MSA staff that will be in Mark Twain during all the meals. And Emma asks, sort of dovetailing into that, how will medications work? So when you check in, you will check in with med staff as one of the stations. You'll get your key at one station, and you'll check in with med staff. And if you have any medications, you'll check it in with them. And they and the RAs will distribute that as you need, as it's needed. So you won't keep that in your room. They will keep that. And again, they're going to be on site 4 times a day. So hopefully that won't disrupt anybody's medication schedule. If that seems like it's going to be a problem, let us know, and we'll figure out some other way of doing that. But that's how we'll do that. Okay. Will there be exercise facilities? So I talked a little bit about that. There really aren't exercise facilities. There's a couple times I said that we'll get to use the sports courts at Mizzou. There's a couple times that we'll get to go and visit Tiger Grotto, which is the lazy river and the whirlpool. But not everybody's going to be able to do that. That's a sign-up activity, and I think there's only 3 or 4 times that we're going to do that. So there is some morning exercising every day of some sort, but there's not really exercise facilities as in weights or anything like that available to the scholars throughout MSA. You can practice instruments. There is a practice room in the basement of Mark Twain, and so there is opportunities to do that. Not a lot. I would say that it's going to depend a little bit on your schedule. If you want to shoehorn in some time during meals, that can certainly be done. But there's not a whole lot of practice time. And certainly we don't want people practicing in their rooms when other people are trying to sleep. So you'll be able to do a little bit of that, but don't count on very much instrument practice time. How's the jogging set up? Go on a track. Are we allowed to jog the campus freely? You're not allowed to jog the campus freely. The RAs under the morning jog will usually do the MKT trail, which is a trail that the trailhead for that is right across the street from Mark Twain. And I think that's about, I think they maybe go 1.5 miles. I'm not exactly sure. It's maybe not surprising that I haven't gotten up at 6:30 and gone with them in the last 1.5 years. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe that'll be something that I can do new this year. But if you want to, if you have a friend and want to go jogging around, around Mark Twain and the surrounding areas, again, around mealtime or before evening program or something like that, go with somebody, tell somebody where you're going, and that should be okay. But again, there's not going to be, there's certainly, you can't jog the campus freely because the MSA campus is a subset of the entire Mizzou campus. Is there anything special for scholars who will celebrate their birthday during MSA? My birthday is June 29th, so I certainly hope there is, but I'm going to keep that as a surprise. I will say, yes, there is, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Got to keep some secrets. Where are the classrooms located? It depends a little bit. It's not a long distance. The chemistry class and the reproductive biology class are the farthest away, just because they're in the science labs on campus. It's about a 15-minute walk from Mark Twain to those rooms. Everything else is about a 5 or 6 minute walk around the MS. They're in the geology building, they're in engineering, they're in Middlebush and a couple of other places. So it's not a long walk. But I would suggest that you bring an umbrella, because it likely will rain at least once during the 3 weeks, and walking that far in the rain is a ways. What about headache medicine or over-the-counter medicine? It'll be handled the same way. So typically, if you have ibuprofen or something, you'll have 1 or 2 doses that you can keep with you when you need it, and then just ask your RA for some more, and they'll as I said, you'll be seeing them multiple times a day, and so that shouldn't be a problem. The library, the Ellis Library is, now that Jasmine asked, is there a library accessible? I'm going to say the answer is no. We don't want students to go over to, I mean, we want students to go to the library. That's not what I mean. But that's really off the limits of the MSA campus. And so there may be some classes. I haven't talked to the faculty about this, but there may be some classes that use that. I know several of the classes will use some computer labs, and we have those very close to Mark Twain, but not Ellis Library. If I'm incorrect about that, somebody may be texting me right now saying that I'm incorrect about that, but I think that's right. Yeah, so take medicine before bed. That's why that's why we're going to have med staff there between 9:30 and 11 p.m. So as you guys are gathering for snack and for house meetings, There will be med staff there. If you need some medication late night, we'll be able to do that. Emma asks, will we be able to do laundry? Not only will you be able to, we highly encourage it. There's laundry facilities down in the basement of Mark Twain. They are coin operated, so bring quarters and bring a little bit of laundry detergent, although usually somebody will bring way more than they need, and it's sort of a community kind of thing. But bring your own laundry detergent, and we certainly recommend you do laundry. There's no need to bring 20 different outfits. Plenty of time for that. Jessica asks the cell phone question, as always. Hang on one second. I'm going to see if this was some staff person correcting me. Well, two of our faculty members are watching, Mike and Angela. And so if you guys know if Ellis Library is off limits or not, feel free to chime in. I said no, but we'll see what they says. Laundry's, I think, $1.50. I think it's $1.50 or $1.25 for washing, and the same for drying. So quarters are good. Jessica, about the cell phone, sorry, I skipped that over. You are allowed to bring cell phones, but you can only use them in your room in Mark Twain. So if you can keep them with you in classes and in programs, but if we see them outside your room, then that's going to be a problem. Oh, thank you, Angela, for that. Very little time to visit the library. So you can bring your cell phones, but just leave it in your room and call your parents every night. Tell them what a fabulous time you're having. But no, we don't want to see the phones off of the individual floors. There's a little time to explore the MSA campus, and to explore the MSA campus. Sorry, I misread that. I thought you said the MU campus. You'll be exploring the MSA campus every day, because we go to geology every day. You will go to your majors and minors, which will be in different places. You'll go to afternoon programming and evening programming that's all in different places. So yeah, there'll be plenty of time to see a lot of all of the MSA campus, which is a lot of MU's campus, and there may be some field trips as well. So I know some of the classes are going to go to the power plant, maybe the nuclear reactor. For those of you that didn't know, we have a nuclear reactor. We do, and we're working on tours of that. So you'll see a lot of the campus. Can we listen to music during jogging with our cell phones? I would say that no. That's getting your cell phone out of your room, and I think we just want to minimize that, Matthew, as much as possible. It's good to just sort of, you can talk with people as you're jogging. That might be a good thing to do. There's usually a good group. There's usually, at least at the beginning, 24 or so early morning joggers. Those numbers tend to dwindle a little bit as time goes on. Jasmine, the RAs are going to decorate your doors, but don't count on putting anything up on the walls in the rooms. Res Life is really particular about that, and they're particular about it with MU students. They're certainly particular about it with people that are staying there at for different activities during the summer. So certainly you can bring things to put on shelves and things like that, but don't think about I wouldn't put up anything, posters or anything like that on the walls. That would potentially cause some, I know it's not damage, but it could potentially cause some problems. So let's avoid that if we can. All right, what else? This is my office, by the way. You can see that I have a lot of boxes of MSA stuff. Not going to tell you what that is either. You'll find out soon enough. It's good. It's all good stuff. Usually the time to do the laundry, people can do that, not you know, after lights out, but when you get back from evening program, there's about an hour before house meeting. You can put one in as you get back from lunch. You can put it in before you go to classes, before you go. There's time when you you know, it doesn't take much time to put it in and to put it away. So you can work that in around your schedule. Will there be store runs, Target or Walmart? I'm going to leave that not for the scholars. The RAs have done that in the past. I'm not going to I'm not going to promise that they're going to do that. But again, hopefully people, if you forget something and nobody else in your house has that, we'll probably be able to figure out some way of doing that. There's actually a little Walmart Express in downtown Columbia. And I've heard that the RAs, if you bribe them with cookies from care packages, might actually be able to do that. Is the sub shop within MSA campus limits? If you're talking about the shop that's actually the sub shop, the answer is no. That's actually not even on Mizzou's campus. So that won't be possible. How much free time would there actually be? There's very little free time. There's as I said, other than we've packed the schedule on purpose because we've got lots of things that we want you to do. We have lots of people that we want you to interact with other than one another, and we're certainly going to give time for that. But there's, you know, when you get back from evening program about 9, house meetings are at 10:30, so that's some free time. Most of the people, most scholars, most Americans don't take an hour and a half to eat dinner, and so there's we have that amount of time set aside. So there's certainly some free time around meals. But during the day, it's programmed. It's majors and minors and PSD and afternoon program and early evening program and evening program, and occasionally some late night programs for those of you that want to go to the observatory and look at the stars. So we've packed it. We packed it on purpose, and that's one of the reasons you need sleep too. To take advantage of all those. Jasmine, can parents order buy MSA shirts? Yes, yes, yes. You may. You can buy them from actually many other years as well. We have an inventory that might probably surprise you. But yeah, we have extras. I'm not exactly sure how many extra polos we have, but we always have some extra polos from the staff. And we will absolutely have extra T-shirts. So you're more than welcome to do that, and just let me know what you need, and I can get you that. A few past scholars mentioned Tai Chi some mornings. Is that still an option? Tai Chi may be an option. I'll have to look at that. One of our longtime faculty members, Aki Takahashi, leads the entire group in Tai So, which is slightly different than Tai Chi. And so that will be happening a couple of mornings. And that's a required all MSA activity. And there may be, perhaps one of the RAs would be willing to lead some Tai Chi activities if they're wanting to do that. I'll leave that up to them though, but that might be a possibility. Coffee's available at all the meals, as far as I know. I know it's available at breakfast. I assume it's available at lunch and dinner as well. I seem to remember that. Yeah, 4 times a day. 3 times a day. That's enough. Matthew asked if I could explain PSD some more. I should probably defer to Mike and or Angela if they're still on and they want to talk about PSD, since I've never either facilitated it or been in it. PSD is called Personal and Social Dynamics, and it is a curriculum of activities and conversations and discussions that was written specifically for MSA, and it's dealing those activities in various different ways, deal with kinds of issues that that gifted 15 and 16-year-olds in mid-Missouri in 2016 are potentially dealing with. And I'm going to have them talk about it if they want to. Mike and Angela, if you want to talk about it, some of your impressions about it. I know anecdotally that for many scholars, it's a tremendously important experience. It's a very bonding experience for the people that are in that minor, and I think it's a long-lasting experience in terms of the kinds of things that are dealt with. So if Mike or Angela has anything to add to that, we'll certainly talk more about PSD. Oh, thanks, Mike. Okay. We'll talk more about it. You'll have one of the RAs as a co-facilitator with your minor instructor, and they'll talk about it. We'll introduce it at big group to everybody. They'll talk about it with your smaller group, and I think it'll be. I can't guarantee it, obviously, but I'm very sure that most of you will really like that hour in the day. And Mike's right. That's what people talk about. That's when we did the interviews for RA positions. That was talked about more than anything else of those people that came back and wanted to be RAs. The choir. Oh, sorry, I missed the religious services one. Let's see if I get anything else. How much are the t-shirts? That's a good question. I think they're $15. I don't have that box with me right now. It's over in our storage room. But I think they're 15. Send me an email and I'll check about that. The activity list is, we do this on purpose, and I talked about this at the Kansas City informational sessions. The scholars get the list of activities for the next day only the night before at house meeting, and we do that intentionally and consciously, and we want the scholars to live in the moment of the day, not thinking about what's going to be going on the next day. So we go through the program with the RAs that morning, and we'll talk to them about what all different kinds of things. So they'll have a lot of information about the activities that they can talk to the scholars about, but they won't know until the night before. And so there won't be, and the activity list of the morning exercises is also a little bit dependent on the RAs that get assigned to that particular morning. Some of them may want to do jogging, some of them may want to do yoga, some of them may want to do, aerobics or whatever. So we won't have a 3-week long list at that point. But they'll know beforehand what they want to do. Scholars will be able to reach religious services on Sundays in a couple of different ways. There are several churches. The Newman Center Catholic Church is about 300 yards from Mark Twain, so they can just walk. Any place that they would like to go that's further than that, we will have vans, and we will have RAs that will drive them there and back on Sunday morning. So there's a lot of churches that are within walking distance of downtown, but there are several that need to be driven, and so we'll provide van service to those. The choir is all volunteer choir. About 70 of the scholars said that they wanted to be in choir, and so I'm hopeful that they all will. If you didn't sign on and you wanted to do that, no experience necessary, you can do that. They're going to practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays afternoons, so it is a little bit of a sacrifice to give up afternoon programming, but it's a fabulous way of performing and giving back not only to the academy, but you'll also perform at the closing ceremonies for your parents. And I love the MSA choir, and it's going to be great this year. And it's going to be, yeah, so it's going to be like 6 afternoons of rehearsal and then a couple of performances. Well, classes run from Monday to Friday, or they're held every day. They're Monday through Friday, and then we do a couple of different things. We do have classes on the weekends, but we do it in a little bit different way. And so we can talk a little bit more about that. But the weekend schedules are a little less full. We still do have classes, and we still have programming both in the afternoon and in the evening on the weekends, but a little bit more flexibility on the classes. It's experience. Yeah, Mike's right about the. I don't want to say you must like PSD, but I think it's an important experience for the academy, and I think a really powerful one too. All right, what else? Good questions. I hope it's coming through all right. The info, yeah, there will be info about Parents' Day. Parents' Day is June 26th. It's that second Sunday, or the third Sunday, I guess, if you think about it that way, June 26th. And you can, the scholars can be checked out by their parents in the morning. We will have a meeting of sorts that will happen in Jesse Hall in the afternoon. It's not required. And then you'll get your scholars back. I think about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I don't have that. I should look it up. But you'll be able to be gone for about 6 hours. So parents and scholars, you can go anywhere you want. And if you want to come back for the program, we usually have a couple of examples of what the classes have been doing. I'll say a few things, and just a little bit of a program if you want to do that. But you don't. But that's not required. So that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much Parents' Day. Teacher Appreciation Day is we're not exactly sure how that's going to work actually this year, because we're going to try something new. The teachers are going to be invited to come to go to one of the minor classes and go to one of the afternoon programs. Should they choose to do that, then they will all gather for a dinner separate from the scholars, and then everybody gets together for the evening program in Jesse Auditorium, where you'll get to sit with your teachers. There's a brief ceremony, and then everybody is excused to the Alumni Center, which is right across the street from Jesse Hall, and we'll have a dessert. You can hang out and chat with your teachers. So it's a good time for them to, hopefully some of them will come and want to experience a little bit of MSA, but also they get a chance to meet one another. We'll have a couple of dignitaries talk with them at dinner, and then we'll all have a program together that I think you're going to enjoy. I think it should be appropriate for all ages, and then you'll get a chance to chat with them at the Alumni Center for an hour or so as we enjoy dessert. So that's sort of what that day looks like. It's a little bit for them, it's a little bit for you, and it's a little bit for the two of you together. But I'm going to see if I can find something. Oh, MSA faculty are funny. All right. Laundry is, we have coin operated machines in the basement of Mark Twain. So find a little bit of time in the day when you can go do that. Bring your own laundry soap. That would be good. Might want to practice 1 or 2 times at home before you come. We'll it's, there's a lot of, there's about 300, and there'll be about 330 scholars, but there's several machines down there. It's usually not too bad of a wait if there's any wait at all. Just can't do it late at night because just don't do it. Can't do it after house meeting. Harper, we're going to notify the teachers. In fact, we're going to do that probably in the next couple of days. We've got a survey going out to them about the kinds of things that they want to do when they're here, but we'll notify them given the information that you guys gave us. So you don't have to worry about that. And I'll let you guys know if your teacher can make it or not. Some of them, just from scheduling, won't be able to make it since it's only that one day, and they're going to have plans. But we'll let you know who's coming and who's not as soon as we know. Hilarious. So fitting in runs is going to be where the main time to do that is in the morning. So there will be a group of people running at 6:30, and they'll show you the trail, and you might have to lap them once or twice to get in a serious run. But that's the best time to do that. It's difficult to have chunks of time during the day, so the morning is the best place to do that. Laptops are not allowed because you don't need them. Because any of your courses that are going to use, they're going to have you use computers. We're going to have a computer lab available for you guys, for the classes to use, for the scholars to use as well. And so you don't need to be gaming in your room after lights out. You need to be sleeping. I know that sounds like an old guy. But we're of the mind that you don't need laptops. You can bring your phones, you can be in contact with friends and family from your room, but just don't need laptops. Oh, jeez, this is fun. I like this. We should do this more often. Kathy, can't swim laps in the pool. We do not have, MSA does not have access to the natatorium at all. We have four afternoon sessions that are about an hour and 15 minutes long at the Tiger Grotto, which is the lazy river whirlpool thing. But we don't have access to the natatorium during MSA. Lights out is 11:30. I think I should know that. I'm going to check that because that's an important one. Lights out, 11:30. I was right. Okay, good. Lights out. Jamie, the Family Day is June 26th, so you're absolutely welcome to come and take the Scholar wherever you want to for 6 hours or so. We will also have a photographer or 3 on the staff, and we will have a Flickr account. I think we're going to do Flickr again. We did last year, and so you'll be able to see pictures of them. But other than Family Day, there's no visitation, just from security issues. It's a closed academy except for those 6 or 7 hours at Family Day. But we'll put as many pictures up as we can throughout the academy of the things that are going on, and hopefully you'll get to experience that way. Nathan, it depends on the day. So all the Saturdays and Sundays are unique because one of them is Family Day and one of them is Alumni Day, and so it's a little bit more open, and there are a couple of more unique opportunities on Saturdays, but there's programming throughout the weekends. What about gaming on our phones? What you do on your phone in your room is your business. I just don't want to see the phones outside your room, so I'm not gonna make you delete anything off your phones, but they just stay in your room. Family Day starts. I think Scholars are allowed to be picked up around 8:30 or 9. It may be 8 o'clock. I'm not 100% sure. I might be able to find that out in just a second. But it's relatively early in the morning. Relatively early in the morning. Let's see. Oh, I can't find it right now. 8:30 or 9 o'clock, or let's just go with that. Your Scholars will know. How many poetry slams will be happening? I'm not. There is a poetry slam competition, so depending on how far one goes in that competition, that will determine how many there are there for each individual scholar. To be honest, I don't know exactly how they're going to be run. In other than I think it's 2 or 3 minutes per, and there's a competitive slam, and there's also a just I was going to say amateurish, a non-competitive one for people that just want to do that. So so there's several opportunities to be in front of a fairly large group for the poetry slams. And I to be honest, I don't know exactly how many they're going to be. It's that's a little bit of a morphing number. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh, there's just going to be one. I thought there was going to be 2. Or maybe I'm thinking about the preliminaries and then the finals. But yes, a nationally award-winning slam poet will be there for the final, and that'll be on the last Wednesday of the academy. Thank you, Mike. What else is on your mind? Jasmine, it's open to all students. The poetry slam will be open to all students. Scholar Bowl. So I've never, the only Scholar Bowls that I've ever been in are the ones at MSA. So that's my only uh, that's my only experience. So there are teams of 4 and buzzers and questions. So I don't know if that's any different than, I don't even think they had Scholar Bowl when I was in high school. So um, yeah, we have a very experienced Scholar Bowl MC, Jim Meyer, who will do again preliminaries and then a final competition. So I think it's just like normal Scholar Bowl tournaments. It usually goes by house. So each house will get a team together, and then the houses will play off against one another. Exactly as Angela just said. What else is on your mind? Let's see what I can do here with my little images. Oh, there's quite a few of these. Yeah, I think the questions that Jim uses are very similar formats to the kinds of questions that are in most Scholar Bowl tournaments, as far as I know. Oh, good. Yeah, I sent all the scholars. Angela reminds me. I sent all the scholars when I sent them their courses a link to the Facebook page. It takes me a little while to approve everybody because it's a closed group, and in fact, sorry parents, I don't allow the parents to be in that group. The parents can join the MSA, the MSA Facebook group, which is for all years, but it's just the scholars that are in the 2016 page. But that means I have to go through the roster and make sure that everybody's actually a scholar. So it takes me a couple of days to do that. But if you want to join that, I'll be happy to put that on there, and there'll be all sorts of other stuff up there. Snacks, it's anything from cheese and crackers. It'll be apples. It'll be ice cream sandwiches sometimes. I don't know what else, what other snacks are there, but lots of variety, healthy stuff. I remember there were at least Oreos and apples on a couple of the nights last year. You can bring cameras, absolutely, and take pictures around campus. As I said, we'll have staff photographers, so we'll be doing that as well and posting them online for both the scholars and the families to take a look at. But you can certainly bring cameras, but no taking pictures with your phone outside. Yeah, and it's Missouri Scholars Academy 2016 is the group name on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I'm doing well, Nathan. How are you doing? Faculty are used to talking for an hour at a time. How will homesickness be dealt with? I think that's a very good question and a difficult one for me to answer because I think that's an individual kind of thing. As we talked about before, I think one of the strong points of the Academy is we keep scholars tremendously busy. And I can tell you that we have, and it's a magical kind of thing, and I'm not going to go into details, but the scholars form a community very, very quickly. And if scholars are open to meeting new people, I think the homesickness is going to be minimized. I don't think it's going to be eliminated. And so if that becomes a problem, then I really encourage the scholars to talk to their RA. The RAs are a tremendously gifted group of individuals, many of whom have been to the Academy before and understand that that aspect of it. And so I hope it doesn't become too much of a problem, but we have a couple of alternatives if that does become a problem. Yeah, Haley, the Mark Twain has its own dining hall. It's called the Mark on 5th Street, and so all the meals are going to be in there. Yeah, it's nice. I love eating at Mark Twain. They always have sandwiches, always have salads, always have burgers, always have another hot meal, always have soups and crackers and all sorts of stuff. It's really good. Yeah, if you have a preferred name that you want on your name tag, let me know. Send me an email message, and I will update the master list. The name tags are going to get printed from that master list. So if there's an error on it, if for some reason we make an error, just let us know and we'll make you a new one. That's not a problem. But it's good that the RAs will know that, and your major and minor teachers will know that. So send me a message on that, and I'll take care of it. Dances and swing dance lessons mandatory. I don't know if we have swing dance lessons. I'm not. The dances are mandatory. We have a couple of different ones. They are really super fun. And I'm not. We don't obviously make people dance, but I think most people do. But I don't think we have dance lessons that I'm aware of. If we do, it's an afternoon program, and all the afternoon programs, we have a choice of a half dozen or 8 different things, and so you can choose to do that or not to do that. So so swing dance lessons are not mandatory, but sound like a lot of fun. What else? The alumni dance is not formal. It's a street dance. So we have another. I'm not going to tell you. We have a surprise for you and the alumni before the dance. But it happens out on Lowry Mall. We have a DJ. It's not. No, it's not formal. It's usually it's really hot. So it's try to stay cool dance attire. And it's just the alumni are invited to come back to the dance as well. That's very well said, Angela. The way you choose to participate is up to you. Yes, that's perfect. So you'll meet the alumni at the dance. Actually, and we're going to get together with them for a program before that. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to be chatting throughout. But then everybody mixes on Lowry Mall at the dance, and so everybody's there. And as you might imagine, everybody's wearing their MSA shirt, so you'll be able to tell people from which year they are based on the color of their T-shirt. But yeah, it's gonna be a great time. It was last year. It rained for about the first 20 minutes, but then it stopped, so it was good. The Alumni Day is Saturday, the 25th of June. So we do a few things with the alumni separate from you, and then we'll get. Madeline, I'm not going to tell you what the color is. I'm not going to tell you that. It's a surprise. You'll learn on the 12th of June. Secrets. Gotta have secrets. But the color combination is unique for every class. What else? Okay, I'm just going to call my mom for just a second. Yeah, Angela's reminding me. She was supposed to call me, and then when she's taking the shuttle into Columbia. Just a second. There's like multiple technologies going on here. And I can't pause it or I'll stop the whole thing. So. Hey, Mom. How are you? Where are you? Are you on the bus? That's not funny. I'm actually doing this thing live right now, so everybody that's on it is hearing me talk to you. I just wanted to make sure that you were there. What time are you going to get in? Oh, really? Okay, so it's 8 right now. Yes. Okay. Absolutely. We told her that she could stay up until you got there. Probably just a little. Mike Kursalov says hi to you, by the way. This is like too many technologies mixing right now. But yeah, I'll be there, and we're just going to be on for another couple of 15 minutes or so. I've been on for an hour, so got a lot of questions answered, and then I'll see you at MOEX. Yeah, it's great. Okay, bye. Okay, good. She's on the way. You're welcome. Oh, I'm glad to do it. It's great. One pair of closed-toed shoes. Good. And Nicholas is absolutely right. We're excited about it. This is a highlight of the year for many of us, and it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a super time. Right? Yes. That's why no phones and no laptops. Exactly. Yes, because there's too many distractions of what we're doing. It looks like it's just the faculty left. Does anybody have any more questions? What's opening day like? Opening day is a little bit frantic, to be honest, and it's just there's a lot of people doing a lot of the same things all at the same time, and so what we talked about in the Kansas City informational session was trust the system. It may not look like we have a system, but we do. And there's a place to drop off your scholars. There's a place where we'll take the luggage up to their rooms. Nicholas is right. It is insane. You can imagine there's 330 scholars times however many parents moving around. But we'll have maps. One of the things that I'll be sending you along with the link to the handbook is we're going to suggest arrival times based on where you live in Missouri. So we'll spread it out a little bit as much as we can. We won't be able to spread it out completely because I know people don't have 100% control of when they arrive. But we'll spread it out a little bit and just be patient with the system. We've streamlined it a little bit, so there won't be as much stuff for you to do. But it is important to check in and obviously get your key and your room and get settled and get checked in with med staff. So that's there's a lot of stuff to do, and there's a lot of people trying to do it, and we'll have all of the staff trying to help out as much as we can. So don't freak out. It'll be fine. Everybody gets a room, and everybody gets settled in eventually, and gets lunch and gets over to opening ceremonies. The residence hall is great. Mark Twain. I mean, it's the journalism learning community at MU. It was renovated a couple of years ago. It's really very nice. The last time I lived in a residence hall, none of you were born, but it's much improved, as is the food from when I was in college. So I think it's going to be fine. Jasmine, that's a good question. There will be a lot of introverts at MSA, and I don't expect, nor do I want, people to all be extroverts. That's not the purpose. But I think that you will find that you will meet a lot of people that you have a lot more in common with than you think you're going to. And I think that's going to help not turn you into an extrovert, but help you build a smaller community of friends that are scholars at MSA. And we're going to ask you to push yourself a little bit. We are going to ask you to do some things that are risks, not in the danger risks, but more intellectual risks and things that maybe you wouldn't have ever expected to do. That's the beauty of MSA. That's the beauty of not having grades. That's the beauty of not having homework, is that you can do things that that maybe you wouldn't have done in your normal school day or your normal school atmosphere. And not everybody's gonna make 70 friends at MSA, and that's absolutely okay. But I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to get to know some people that you'll really resonate with. I hope. If you end up not liking your major or minor, there's a lot behind that. What kind of yeah, that's funny. Sorry, I'm reading two different things. These classes are, I want to sit down on these classes because they are so well done, so unique, so interdisciplinary, that it may not be exactly your cup of tea, but I know there's something that you can get out of any class at MSA. And at the end of the day, it's not your entire MSA experience. And so it's really difficult in the middle of the academy to switch courses. And by really difficult, I mean we don't do that. But I'm certainly willing to talk with you. The faculty are willing to talk with you. The RAs are willing to talk with you about ways that you can make what maybe initially is not the best experience into a better experience. And I have a couple of personal anecdotes about that that I'm not going to share, but we have some. But come talk to us, talk to your RA, talk to me, and we'll figure something out. There's lots of other extracurricular activities. There is a class on the law. I don't know if they're going to do a mock trial, and certainly there will be debates among scholars, not in the formal sense, at least not on the general programming in a formal sense. But there's tons of other activities that are going on. So you'll have opportunities to listen, you'll have opportunities to discuss, you'll have opportunities to do lots of different things. I got about another 10 minutes. If anybody has any other questions. I'm not familiar with no-bake cookies. That doesn't sound very hygienic, but I'm going to take Angela's word for it that those are tasty. One of the Thomas, and another thing that is going to be available is attending an attending a dress rehearsal of the Missouri Symphony Society, not the Missouri Scholars Academy, Missouri Symphony Society. So that's another another thing that that scholars are going to be able to do. This is probably going to get me off on the wrong foot, but I think oatmeal is for breakfast and shouldn't be ever in cookies. That just seems a little too healthy. I would just prefer the dough and the chocolate and an occasional nut perhaps, but no oatmeals in cookies. Oh, there are games, yes. So the game, Nicholas reminds me, there's lots of games that are available, usually as afternoon programming. So if you want to learn a new game, or if you want to improve on things that you already know, there's lots of opportunities to do that. Kelsey, you really don't need. First of all, vegan cookies is an oxymoron, but you really won't need spending money. If you want to have a few dollars for to spend at the Mizzou store, or to get a soft drink when we're out on Lowry Mall, you can certainly do that. But there's really not a whole lot of stuff that you're not provided with. You don't have to buy any meals. You don't have to buy the shirts. There are. I will say that we have a couple of souvenirs, playing cards and bumper stickers and those kind of things. So if you want to, there's a few dollars for that, but you don't need a whole lot of spending money. Yeah, Lilia, that's exactly right. I get excited for chocolate chip, and then it's oatmeal raisin. Not good. Games as in a traditional camp games like Mafia. I'm not sure what Mafia is. We have lots of games down in the lobby of Mark Twain, chess and cards and Scrabble and lots of other things, but I'm not sure about what Mafia is. That sounds maybe not like something that MSA does, but Shogi, is it Shogi or Shogi? I always get that. Nicholas, you're gonna have to remind me. Go and chess and Scrabble. There'll be a Scrabble. Should I say demonstration or something along those lines as well. I think there's gonna be at least one afternoon program on Dungeons and Dragons. If people are interested in that. Minnesota Muncher sounds good for sure. Yeah. Oh, so there is Mafia. Okay. I'm gonna have to get updated on this. Oh, it's a card game. Okay, yeah. All right. So yeah, there's lots of different. It's like Clue and okay, yeah. So card games are happening in the lobby of Mark Twain all the time, for sure. All right, Frogger, excellent, good. I don't know about Mao, but if you want to bring it, feel free to bring it. If it's a card game, you could certainly bring that. It doesn't have to be just the games that we have at MSA. If you want to bring that, if it's a special deck, I don't know about the game. Any other last questions before I sign off? Again, you'll be getting roommate information and rooming information in the next couple of days. I'll send that first by email, and then I'll send you a big snail mail package with all that stuff in it, probably in a week or so, just so that you have a copy of that, as well as all the opening day info. Well, I hope this was helpful. Good to chat with you guys, at least virtually. Thank you, Nicholas and Angela and Mike, for chiming in and helping out. I appreciate that. And we will see you guys on the 12th. If any questions come up, just feel free to send me an email message, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Yeah, absolutely. There's that's a good place to. The Facebook group is a good place to ask questions, because there are both faculty and RAs and staff on there that that have some different perspectives. So, all right, see you guys. Take care. See you in June.